So, California, I mean, wow. It really does appear to be on the decline as a whole. I mean, like, overall, in almost all aspects. And forgive me for saying this, but I'm just saying my opinion, and if you believe it's wrong, feel free to tell me this. But I just see the trend, and it really appears to be the extreme left-leaning way California is that is the overall cause of most of these problems. Think of it this way, like Starbucks is a thriving business in California. And because some individuals, a small minority of individuals, had made complaints that in a lot of cases later on we have found out that the way they portrayed it was not quite the way it happened. But it did fit the narrative that the media was looking for, and so they ran with it, and it became a big story, which then put media pressure on Starbucks, and Starbucks responded with opening up their bathrooms, and anybody can go in, and Starbucks can't say anything. It's like Chipotle chicken. If you go in and you grab food and run, they can't say anything. They can't stop you. Well, what does that do to your business? Well, we can see what it's doing to Starbucks. People don't want to go there because it has become dangerous. They have found needles. It is nasty. Employees don't even want to clean the restrooms. We have medieval diseases infecting California's homeless. The homeless crisis is enormous. It's almost, you almost couldn't imagine it. And I was homeless for several years, and I crawled myself out of homelessness. I went to college, graduated top of my class. I made it, and I was lucky. But I've seen the homelessness from the inside, and a lot of people in the homeless community, they need the help. Hell, I wouldn't have done it without some help. You know, I was on food stamps. I used food stamps for what they were. Not something to supplement me, but something to give me a step up so that way I could survive and get to a point where I am paying taxes and I am contributing to society, and that means something to me. And the homelessness crisis means something to me as well, because my experience is a lot of the homeless individuals, they don't get it. They are not whole. A lot of them have abuses in the past. I have abuse in my past. It's just a common theme. But the help just isn't there. And when you open the doors and you have these liberal ideas and you say, come one, come all, and we don't care who you are, we'll pay for it. This is what you get. When you open your borders and you say, we don't care who you are, we are going to pay for everything that you can, and people that cannot work, their families bring them in, or they are at least smart enough to know that if they go to this place that is offering them this service, that they don't have to work. And they won't. And I'm not saying everybody. Look, I'm the pot calling the kettle black. I have been homeless. I have hitchhiked from one side of this country to the other, and north and south. I have rode the rails. Forgive me. Riding the rails means something different nowadays. I rode the dirty face. FTRA. I was a train hobo, if you will, for a while, but not hobo-ish. I was always upper-class homeless because I didn't like the idea of being homeless. It was embarrassing. That's why when I was able to, I ended the food stamps before they even wanted to, and I told them, you take these. Because when I got those food stamps and I told them this is only temporary, they looked at me like I had two heads. They said, nobody gets off food stamps. You're in the system now, buddy. You're stuck. You're ours. You belong to Uncle Sam. And I told them, you watch. I'm a tenacious individual. And I made it. And I told them, you take these food stamps. Before they are even ready to cut them off, I said, you take them because I can survive on my own now. I can do it on my own, and I can be self-sufficient. But a lot of people don't have that opportunity because they just don't have it. And I'm speaking from coming from that place and seeing it personally and experiencing it. There is violence. The whole situation is like quicksand. It wants to draw you in. And part of homelessness is the fact that there are not enough places for these people that you have opened your borders up to go. There are not enough resources. Even though the ivory tower has screamed down to the peasants, come galore. And the peasants arrive and they use the resources, and the ivory tower puts forth this great front saying, there's a plenty. Have all you want. Meanwhile, as they live in the ivory tower, they don't see what they dictate to others to do, because they don't do it themselves. The ivory tower has someone else do it, and someone else distributes the food. It's the people down there that see what happens. And they don't dare report to the ivory tower that the conditions are bad, because that would be political suicide. That's the world we live in. It has gotten so bad that people are leaving California, which has become a problem to actually... Jesus, I thought I had gone through this. Forgive me. I am so sorry. Apologies. I let it sit and I thought I had gone through all those. Once the channel is self-sufficient and I can afford on the channel's budget to get subscriptions to these things so the ads go away, things will get better. Trust me. But people are leaving California in droves. U-Haul put out a report saying that, and U-Haul is a great political tool if you want to know where you need to go as president. Every year, go to U-Haul statistics and find out where people are moving to. And people are leaving California in droves. So much so that it's now affecting them on a political basis. Do you know how huge that is? That is huge. It is a transformation of the political landscape that people seem to be overlooking. But I've always been political. My father's been a Republican. I've been a Democrat my entire life. My father's been a Republican as long as I have known him for my entire life. So our views have always conflicted. So politics has always been something that we talked about, but we are always able to do it. And this is what I encourage. We're all Americans, or Britons, or Australians, or New England, or whatever you are, ever. But we can all discuss these things together. And we can all do it in a civil manner and hear everybody's opinions and not get all uptight regardless of race, religion, color of skin, where you come from. Who cares? I don't care what you do. I care about your opinion, and is your opinion right? Is your opinion better than mine? Because if your opinion's better than mine, I want to hear it. I want to educate myself and make myself better. That's the only way that you improve. If you always game against mediocre people, you're always going to be mediocre. If you want to get better, you have got to game against the best to become the best. Just the way it is. And California is losing politically. That is huge. They have lost a seat because people are leaving. And the homeless crisis is so bad that the California business people are inviting Trump in. Do you hear me? Businesses in California are inviting Trump in because they are sick and tired of the homeless crisis. Trump has threatened Governor Gavin Newsom Wednesday that the federal government is going to step in if he doesn't do something about it. And this woman here, a business owner, when the news anchor asked her, well, what do you think about federal intervention? Would you welcome it? She said right here, let me highlight it. The anchor woman for the news station, anchor Lisa Booth, asked Novak whether she welcomed possible intervention by Trump. And Novak responded, absolutely. And she's not alone. She is not alone. The state of California, and the only, forgive me again, but I'm a registered Democrat, and it pains me to see this. It pains me to see the party that I love going that so far away. I mean, when politics has meant something to you so much as it has in my family, because it has been something that has been a joy to talk about with my father. To this day, some of the most sane moments he has in his life are when we talk about politics, and it's awesome. Because I garner information from him, and here he is, the wisest man I have ever known, but he is still willing to change his mind based upon if I bring him better facts. If my opinion makes him say, oh, you know what, you might be right. Let me think about that for a minute. And then maybe he goes away and does his own research and he weighs the evidences that I've given him and he listens. But the Democrats aren't listening. They're in the ivory tower and they're blind. They've got blindfolds on and they're walking with their noses high. And they have gotten so used to the stench around them that they can't even smell it anymore. Where has my party gone? What are you doing? And California is a great example. And I know I've ranted for a long time, so I thank you. I do, but this is a perfect example. The only thing that I see as a common factor in the demise of California down to a political seat lost is the far left-leaning values of the state. And they're going to suffer long term for this. Because with every solution that they come up with, the crisis has gotten so bad. With every solution, there are additional problems. And they have gotten to this crisis where what are they going to do with all the fecal matter? What are they going to do with all the homeless people? They have already opened their doors and they have already set their social system to assist these people. Everyone come one, come all. No vetting, no worries, no nothing. And if you think for 1 minute that some human beings aren't going to abuse that, then you are wrong. You are looking at life through rose-colored glasses, and I envy you. I do. I wish I could see the world from an altruistic perspective, but I have lived on the dark side of the world. I have been the invisible man on the street. I have seen the things. I've eaten out of dumpsters and been ignored and seen the shady side of everything. I have seen the violence. So I know that there's crazy stuff out there. And you've got to be able to take your rose-colored glasses off and take a step back from partisan lines and look at the world and see what's going on. And dear God, Democrat Party, come back down to earth, please. I kind of miss you guys. I have ranted long enough. I appreciate your time. Wow. If you've stuck through this to the end, you're freaking awesome, and I appreciate that. I will see you guys on the next one. Give me some engagement. Like, comment, subscribe. I promise if I get to 5,000 subscribers, I will stop shilling for subscribers. But right now, I'm just trying to beat the YouTube algorithm so that way my videos can be seen and shared because, I don't know, maybe I've got some weird bias because it's myself. Gee, I'm a human being. Imagine that, right? But I believe my opinions are pretty dang good. And I enjoy hearing other people's opinions. And the more people I reach that hear my opinions and I hear their opinions, bam, there we go. Everybody's better off. Hearing dissenting opinions is a good thing. And giving your opinion, even if it's a dissenting opinion, even if you're in your head while you're thinking it, this is a bad idea, man. Well, guess what? If you've spit it out and as you're thinking it's a bad idea, you have just realized it's a bad idea and you can get rid of it. So, that's what I got. I appreciate you guys for your time. I love you guys. You guys are worth informing. Let me know what you think. I'll catch you guys in the next one.